So Bethesda Australia very graciously sent me an invite to the Melbourne event and watched everything revealed there at Fortress Melbourne. It was fantastic. I thought I should throw together a video just highlighting some of the parts of the night and the showcase that I found the most memorable. So this is mainly positive feedback on everything that we saw there. One of the first ones we got to have a look at was Redfall. This is something that's been anticipated for a while. I know I've been waiting for it. Watching it with my wife, she's basically said the same thing. She's like, I want to play this. So we're down for that. That's going to be happening. Now, when Forza Motorsport came up, I was like, oh great, because I had so much fun with Forza Horizon 5. I want to check out some of the new stuff that comes in Motorsport, but just looking at just how beautiful this game looks, it was absolutely amazing. The detail they've put in there, procedurally generated environments and everything, that was something I'm definitely looking forward to trying out. One of the best things, I guess, is that yeah, all these new games coming out, if they're available on the cloud streaming service for Xbox, means I don't have to install it and use hard drive space. Microsoft Flight Simulator, great. Beautiful game, always looking amazing. But I guess the most exciting part was right at the end. This bit. The fact that they've taken all our Halo fans' hearts and thrown in Microsoft Flight Simulator crossed with Halo, a bit of awesome sci-fi gaming. We actually get to fly the aircraft from Halo in Flight Sim. That's cool. Without taking away from Flight Sim, that's still pretty cool. Now, I mentioned how much I enjoyed Forza Horizon 5. Now they're bringing in Matchbox stunt maps. It doesn't take much to cause chaos in Forza Horizon 5, as you know, and now we've got this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now, my main game, shout out to Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, that was great to see that there and seeing the new preview and all that, but it didn't get quite the hype, and I think that was a lot of that was to do with the fact that it's actually released already on PC. It hasn't come out to consoles yet. I do wonder that now that there's a direct relationship between Microsoft and Bethesda, that Microsoft owns Bethesda, that whether the console and PC releases in future years will be aligned. I do know the reason that there's usually a 2-week delay is it takes longer to approve patches and releases and all that sort of stuff for the consoles than what it does on PC. If they do the PC and Xbox releases together and then PlayStation 2 weeks later, it is going to be a bit of a slap in the face of PlayStation players. Most of the console players that I know are PlayStation players. There's definitely a lot more PC players than console, at least in the Twitch communities. The Pit, that's our Fallout 76's new expansion. Now, it does look great. Fallout 76, I've actually enjoyed quite a bit playing with friends. It's not too bad of a game. There were a few things and bugbears that I've had with friends, but I mean the hardest thing for me is finding people that want to invest the time in Fallout 76. And, there's so many other great games around. It has to be a bit more on point to capture people. But saying that, I wouldn't mind going back and giving it a run. Now here's one that I certainly have enjoyed. I've been playing it in early access. It's Grounded. It's a fantastic game, co-op world survival game. Basically, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in video game format without any proprietary titles. It's amazing, and for those that are scared of spiders, it has this really cool arachnophobia mode where you can actually turn the spiders basically just into little white blobs so they don't look anything like spiders. I personally have never had any fear of spiders until I started playing this game. It's also been in early access for quite a while, and now they've finally announced that it is fully released, so there are no restricted areas and all that. So the big question now is, do we start the game all over again with everything released, or do we continue where we left off and see how much further we can go? Necromancer, a new announced class in Diablo 4. Diablo 4 actually looks fantastic. It looks beautiful. Definitely a game that's held close to my heart. Being in my younger years, I used to play Diablo quite a bit. Now, One of my concerns is after seeing Diablo Immortal, which is recently released for mobile and PC, it looks very much pay to win and microtransactions. So I'm hoping Diablo 4 steers away from that. One of the other concerns I have with Diablo 4 is the fact that they basically said, if you're really good, you basically become a loot pinata and are visible to everyone on the map. One thing that I dislike in games is forced PvP. If you want to go in and chill out on a video game, and you don't want to get competitive, you just want to play with your friends, then forcing people into PvP like the likes of Rockstar do in Red Dead Redemption and GTA is actually literally steered myself and a few others away from those games. Like, we played those games, we realized how good they were great, but that component there, also topped with the fact that they do not monitor for cheating, actually makes the experience terrible, to the point where like people have developed apps to try and block other players so they can just play with a couple of friends. So hopefully Diablo 4 doesn't make that mistake and you can actually just disable PvP and go and chill out with friends and take on mobs and all that sort of stuff. And then when you're in the mood for something competitive, turn it on and take a crack at other players. Now, another game that sort of piqued my interest was Cocoon, basically because it was made by the design, well, at least one of the designers of Limbo and Inside, which were great games, great little platform games. It does, I suppose, from the footage I'm seeing, not quite sure what type of game it is, and I'm still not sure what it is. I'll give it a go just to see, but yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at, basically. I definitely have never played any of these games. But given the response of the fans at the event, the Persona games, Persona 3 Portal, Persona 4, Persona 5, I'm not sure why there's 3 of them. Given that there was such a strong audience reaction to these, this doesn't look like the type of game that I would usually play. Doesn't mean I won't give it a try. Considering the reaction from people, I get the feeling that it might be pretty good. So I'm going to give it a go, just because if it's good enough to make some introverted gamers sitting in a dark room jump up and cheer and shout out that have been quiet for the rest of the entire showcase, maybe it's worth checking out. And of course, there's Starfield. Now, as the Starfield gameplay intro took off, the first thing I looked at it and thought was No Man's Sky. Looks beautiful. What's setting you apart? But when it got into showing the customizations, I reckon I could spend entire streams just customizing a character and then years building out ship builds and build guides and all that sort of stuff for those that want to go to that depth. It actually looks like you could sink years of your life into this game already. I'm excited to see whether it stands up. It's definitely a beautiful looking game, and the breadth and depth of the exploration is definitely something worth looking at. One that definitely caught my attention that I hadn't heard of yet is Scorn. As soon as it started playing, I'm like, that is H.R. Geiger artwork in an environment. What am I looking? And it's also taken the surrealism and sexuality of Geiger artwork and looks like it stayed true to that, not trying to shy away from either. It actually looked beautiful, and I can't wait to give this a go. This is now, because I am and have for a very long time been a Geiger fanboy, I'm gonna definitely jump into this one. I'll even, because it's so lonely sitting over here being a Geiger fanboy these days, I'm going to invite all the Alien fan AVP fans and they can all join me as well. Definitely want to give it a go, for sure. It was kind of exciting to see Hideo Kojima in the showcase, and that he's announcing some cloud-based project, especially considering the success over the years of like Metal Gear and Death Stranding more recently, that it's I'm kind of excited to see what they come up with. Success seems to follow this guy. They didn't give away too much, but hopefully it's something amazing. I think one of the main things to come out of this showcase is definitely the fact that Xbox Game Pass is going to become very worthwhile. So they've gone so strong into investing in Xbox Game Pass that it looks like it's going to be very hard for any competitors to even compete anymore in the subscription-based services. So if you don't have Xbox Game Pass, you're gonna have FOMO. Deal with it. So big shout out to Bethesda Australia and Xbox for putting this together and for getting me and my beautiful wife an invite to the event. It's very much appreciated. Thanks for checking out the video. If you do like people that barely ever release YouTube videos, in the words of Tyrene from Borderlands 3, like, subscribe, and obey.